Alrighty, so today we're going to learn how to peel a gecko. So most geckos have the same outer layer layout. It's a little different. There's a small variation from gecko to gecko. But today we're going to start off with a heavy cargo gecko and just learn to peel it. There is the salvage runner, which as you can see is worth about $1 million more. But I'm not going to bother myself with that one because there's a lot more risk involved, a lot more things that can go kaboom, if you get what I mean. So we're going to start with the Zealous Klein Heavy Cargo. Now, heavy cargos mostly are like the heavy cargo javelins, except they keep their cargo inside instead of outside. It should also be noted that geckos are big beasts, especially the salvage runners and the stargazers. So, I always like to start off by looking at what the layout is. If I have things like this on the outside, first thing I do is pull it and fire it. I don't like running the risk of destroying things that I can remove on the outside. Also, since I started off like that, there should be the railgun firing in less than a minute, so we will stop to take a look at that because, oh, that still looks so cool. You can actually hear it powering up on the in-game radio if you're listening for it. But we'll keep working until it's ready. All right, so over here we have removable panels, so let's remove them. Not even wait for that. Oh, there it is. God, that's still an awesome sight. Thank you, devs, for putting that in. It only shows if you're looking at it. If you're not looking at it when it fires, you're not going to see it. And I know that's kind of, you know what I mean. If it fires off and you're not looking at it, the shockwave will not propagate. You cannot see it behind you. You have to be looking at it whenever it fires. That one's done. Do you have grabbers? You do, so let's get your grabbers off. Peeling the skin of a gecko requires you to really focus on making sure things around you are good, because they're usually strap a lot of things onto the surface of it. Like the actual gecko peeling, not hard. It is really easy. Just peel a gecko. You know what I mean? I don't see any other salvage equipment on the outside that I can pull. There are the communication arrays, but those have to be pulled after releasing them. Is everything... Yeah, everything's pressurized. Let's go in the cargo holds. So, the cool thing about the cargo and why I chose it is that, for the most part, the entire outer hull is accessible from within the cargo hold. In the stargazers, you have other things in the way, but for the most part, if you want me to, I'll give you a basic rundown of one of them on another video. So in here, of course, like I say, you have your cargo. Everything's pressurized in here, which of course means that we got to depressurize it. So this is going to be part of my depressurization video as well. You're going to see me cut away from this as I depressurize it because the things are damaged, and you'll have to watch the video about depressurizing your ships, how that works. But yeah, now that we have all this open, the only compartment left is the big one. Now there's nothing loose floating in here. These are all secured. Like, you see how much air is being moved? But because there's nothing free floating in this, I'm done. I have now purged this entire thing of oxygen. As you can tell, nothing left. So now we need to peel the skin off of this. So peeling a gecko is not that difficult, in fact. So there's multiple ways to do it. I'm sure someone has a better guide than me on how to do it quickly. My preference is to blow off the top half first. So I just go down the ship's length and just blow these. Now, because this is a Cargo Gecko, we do need to pay attention to the fact that there's cargo on the bottom half. So we'll deal with that when we get to it. Also, the communication array is up here, so we need to make sure to disconnect those. Usually you can just burn the mount and it'll be fine, but make sure you pay attention. There are two varieties of communication array, at least that I've seen. One has a mount, one doesn't. I don't know if that's because it changed in a patch or if there really are just two. All right. Swung around. Let's go ahead and get these airlocks unhooked. Airlocks will hold you up, as will these. Heat sinks are a pain in the butt. However, this is a bottom half heat sink, so I'm going to wait to pull it. If you pull a heat sink that's connected directly to a wall and to the ship, sometimes your gun will cause it to rattle real hard, shattering it and causing damage, which can bleed off into other areas. So make sure you only pull a heat sink when the section that you're on is disconnected. That way the heat sink will just push that section out the way instead of, you know, destroying everything. Right, you're loose. We're just gonna not shoot you off. Okay. Bake these out. Yes, I am disconnecting everything. I know there are people out there who are probably cringing at the idea of me peeling a gecko by disconnecting every single point, but it is a very safe method. In my normal playthroughs, I'm not so nice, but I'm trying to show y'all the surefire way to get it done, which is slow and steady. In normal playthroughs, I'll just burn it, leave huge swaths of this just still connected together, and you're loose. Leave huge swaths connected together and throw like 5 or 6 sections into the processor at the exact same moment. Okay, you're 18,000 because you're the front end one. Everything else should be 4,000 or so. Yep. Your disconnected rail guides. Alrighty, let's start working on the other side. Said peeling is probably the easiest on geckos. I find it, I mean, mackerels are easy, and there is no real, like, I think the hardest overall is the javelin, because you have so much in the way. Let's not send our laser through that. It has a tendency to cause damage whenever I do that. Let's plug you out and take care of you and disconnect you from the main body. Pay attention to these and making sure you're getting your connecting joints here for the keel. If you don't, you will spend a long time just dealing with that crap. You're out. Let's cut you. How many more connectors are on this? Let me turn on my light. That might be helpful. And all the sub connectors for you. Yep, so let's go ahead and finish up the structural connections. How's the keel connections? There's none in the center, so we'll focus on you. Gotta be careful because I'm firing in the direction of fuel tanks. Never good. I like to, if I know there's a fuel tank on the other end, I'll face downwards towards an uncuttable and just cut towards it so I don't accidentally strike a tank or a piece of fabric. Like I almost just shot that over there because I squeezed too early. Gotta be careful. Alright, let's also break you. Separating out that top piece from the rest of this. All right. Are you good? You are. Okay. Communications. There were towers around here. Did I purge those towers off? They were up here, right? Here, let's push one of these off. All right, so let's just throw you in the processor. Ah! That went badly. Finger slipped off the mouse key, or one mouse button and hit the other. Just fired off a bunch of tethers. Ah, so you're sitting there on the outer edge. As you can see, now that I've disconnected them, it's literally just pull and go, pull and go. Like that whole side just moved forward. So let's burn off this mount. Send you off over here, pull you around. Gotta be careful because you are obscenely easy to damage. There we go.
Object accepted for processing. Credits deposited.
Are you in? As you can see, it's just coming apart. It's that easy. You can see right here, this is bottom piece is touching here. If I'm not mistaken, if I'm careful, I can just... You see how it jittered for a moment and the whole screen locked up? The physics for trying to process everything. You just gotta be careful. There we go. Ah, there was an aluminum panel there. Oh well, don't care. For the most part, you can throw 90% of this shell, your skin, into the processor. Like it really, like even with the aluminum, it's not going to break your thing. So if you're going for speed, just toss the shell in. Just make sure you pay attention to what needs to be pulled off. All right, so that's that half of the skin gone. Let's pull you on in. You know what I mean? That's aluminum. I can use a demo charge to cut this and take that out, but I'm not gonna lie about it. Just not gonna do it. Let's just pull you over there. See what I mean? Even with that wasted aluminum, it's done aluminum. It's done next to nothing to the cost. Let's throw you in. Like losing one of these door panels is, yeah, like that. As you can see, it did more towards my waist than losing that entire piece of aluminum did. Where did it go? Huh. Okay, it just phased out of reality. That's fine. Throw you in over there. Fire you off that way. Since there's nothing attached to you anymore, just fire you.
Object accepted for processing. Credits deposited.
It helps to have upgraded gear. I'm going to tell you this now. I recommend upgrading your tether and your laser as soon as possible. For lasers, durability and cooldown rate are crucial. And for your tether, your grapple, your overall weight is what I recommend. Because once you can start firing things off with your pulse and move things at a much higher rate, it gets so much easier to tear these ships down, and you save so much time.
Valuable object processed.
Did I just destroy that? I hope not. Ooh, I came close. I forgot that had durability. Get in there. I said peeling these is rather simple. It's just go, go, go. Oh, I almost set you off. That's not good either. Let's just pull out that keel and fire it off. All right, let's get you out of there and get you into the did I already shoot off the other airlock?
Salvage secured. Credits deposited.
Guess I did. Okay. All right. No. Not do that. What's holding you in? You? Okay, so this is a dangerous one. The only thing holding this in on this side is this. And there's a chance that if I break this, it's going to explode. So we're going to hold off until I break off the bottom piece. So let's go ahead and get down to the bottom piece. As you can see, this is all still connected. Now, with the geckos, there are some things you should know. For the nose, both the front and bottom keels must be disconnected. So like what I'm doing right now, making sure the whole front piece is disconnected. If you don't, it won't separate. Now it's still like this, but that's because of this. What you're going to run into is that these geckos have a bridge right here. This bridge is connected to the front piece, and in order to take it off, we're going to have to go inside this and pull off a few components, which we will do in a moment. By the way, whatever space engineering company designed this thing needs to be terminated. Because simply put, I'm going to tell you now, that entire bridge is held to the entire front hull via 4 cabinets. Not a joke. This entire 100,000 kilogram vehicle is held together on the front by 4 like 8 kilogram bins. Whoever designed this needs to be shot. Ooh, careful. That I just disconnected the rest of the keel, so now it's separating off as 2 separate objects. I've got to be careful because this particular one, which is normally a this is a class 2 pull on your reactor, your cooling pipe runs the whole length of the ship, and you cut that sucker and you will cause a reactor to go early. This is not something you want to do. So be careful while you're separating. You might have noticed parts are literally floating off on their own now, so we've actually reached good separation point. I could stop cutting right now and basically guarantee I'll finish this ship without having to cut anything else, but well, cut other stuff, but not having to cut any more hull. But I'm going to, just because it's easier to show it. Alrighty. Gonna do it, might as well do it all, right? Alright. So these are all separated. Careful of all the explosives. We're going to now separate out the cargo. We need to make sure that before we send the bottoms, we separate out these cargo bars. If you don't separate out your cargo bars, you will just drag all of your cargo containers into a processor. That, and it makes them exceptionally heavy. This stack right here is 7,000. While I can handle that with my upgraded tether, you will not be able to whenever you first reach this area. Thank goodness they don't just burst into flames when your laser intersects them. You intersect something with fuel or coolant with your laser, it'll go nuke. All right, let's pull this out. There should be a coolant in there. Yep. Let's fire you down there. And you're still a bit heavy at 10 kilograms, so let's just, or 10,000 kilograms, so let's just give you a yank. You're heavier than I can blast, so at least I think you are. Are you? Yeah, you're heavier than I can shoot. You, on the other hand, are not, so.
Salvage deposit accepted. Credits transferred.
I'll give you a pull. Get this keel out of the way. Then let's resend you.
Credits deposited.
Let's get all this cooling out the way.
Salvage secured. Credits deposited.
Ah, nuts. Kind of figured that was going to happen. I couldn't brake because I was in the middle of grabbing it. Pro tip from someone who has done it too many times: if you are in the middle of grappling something off of your ship, you cannot slow down. Your brakes do not work so long as your grapple is engaged and pulling something off of the ship. Now you know, if you didn't before.
Credits transferred. Valuable object processed. Credits awarded.
All right, let's start tossing in these. Alrighty. Let's get the cargo down there. By the way, tethers, if you use them to pull off on like cargo crates, they will separate out your cargo crates from each other. I don't need to use them, but it does make it easier than having to hand pull each individual crate down.
Salvage secured. Account credit applied. Object accepted for processing.
Like, we haven't even pulled main components and we're only just now sending down shipping supplies, and we've already reached salvage goal 1. That is just how much material there is on the outside of this ship. Like, just pulling the outside, getting the ECU and the reactor 2, or rank 2 reactors taken care of, is enough to push this build to 4, if not just shy of it. Maybe about 2/3 of the way to 4. But it'll definitely get you 3 ranks.
Processing valuable object. Credits awarded.
Let's get the rest of this shell out. Not too worried about tethers. Even if I waste all my tethers and buy some more, if I'm not mistaken, just one of these cargo containers is worth as much as an entire round of tethers. I could be wrong, but you get the point.
Salvage deposit accepted. Credits transferred.
Let's get you sent off. What the hell are you attached to? Are you still attached to you are? Screw it. Throw it in.
Salvage secured. Account credit applied.
I'll yank the whole darn thing. Don't doubt me.
Object accepted for processing. Credits deposited.
Ah. God, you're a heavy sucker. Okay, let's just pull you over there, or shoot you over there. And this one sucker has loosened up all of these, so let's just throw them in there. That's it. For the most part, we've now loosened, disengaged, and are ready to start working. We're just basically tossing them in. It shouldn't take 25 minutes, but I made mistakes. I didn't do it quick enough, and if I had done it the way I normally do it, which is not doing it one individual piece at a time, it would have taken maybe 15 minutes at most. But this is just to show you how to do this, and I'm making this understood. It is easy, so easy to get this skin off, and it makes it so much easier to do what you need to do.
Object accepted for processing. Credits deposited.
because I've seen a video before of watching, and a dude was literally just doing his gecko. He cut out one piece, just one piece of the bottom, and slowly pulled things out through that piece before continuing on. I was like, nah, it's just so much faster, so much easier to rip it apart and then just throw it in, throw his guts in later.
Caution.
Now,
Tether supplies running low.
I will need to show y'all something. I'm gonna have to save these 4 tethers for the cabin.
Salvage deposit accepted. Credits transferred.
Yeah.
Salvage secured. Account credit applied.
Kill all the tethers. Okay. Anything else that I haven't sent in there that's from the bottom? Yes. Okay, I'm gonna have to buy more tethers. Darn. I could do this without them, but it's just so much quicker to let go and let these just be yanked in by the tethers. Yeah, it's a lazy thing, I know.
Warning. No tethers remaining. Processing valuable object. Credits awarded.
Like, because as a point, I can just grab this, pull it over, and just fire, and it starts flying in the direction you're looking. So if I'm going over here, it'll fly that way, then fire it back in. Done. You, get in there. That one I screwed up on. Yeah, that one's going in there. That's a loss.
Valuable component destroyed.
Not a big loss, but a loss. Sorry about that. Like I said, it's not going to kill you to make a mistake here and there. So don't be afraid to. Just, especially on these big ships, there's so much to salvage that there's a lot of wiggle room. Are you in there?
Valuable
Okay.
project processed. Credits awarded.
Now, as you can tell, I've now torn apart the ship. There's nothing else left really holding on except for like you. Get the hell out of here. Yeah, shoot. Oh, I'm getting furnaced.
Helmet damage detected.
Ooh, I made it out.
For helmet repair costs.
Speaking of, if you get burned enough times, you can activate a side quest where it's called the Furnace God sticker. So look forward to that. Burn yourself a few times. Like, not burn, but throw yourself in the furnace a few times.
Salvage secured.
All right, that's taken care of. I forgot I hadn't pulled that. All right, there's the back ass of the ship, which is connected to all of these and, you know, the reactors and the fuel tanks. I don't consider that the skin of the ship. So as you can tell, we pulled most of the skin, but you notice that we didn't finish. So there's this sucker. As I stated before, the only way you're really going to be able to pull this, outside of like burning off panels, which might be easier, go in here, locate the top forward, locate these suckers, pull them, suddenly you can tell that there's different weights. There's 9,000 up here, and then everything else is like 3,600. That's because you've now separated it.
Warning. Fuel levels are critical.
That I know. At this point, what I like to do is I'm gonna take oh yeah, I ran out.
Tethers depleted.
Oh, little quick thing. Bonus. You run out of fuel and you pull yourself in. Z and X. I don't know what to do if you're on a console. I think there's a console version to this game.
Fuel levels restored.
But ZX. You literally can just like quap your way around. It's how I handle it if I run out and I have to use my tether to pull myself. Alright, so let's my grapple, sorry. Let's tether this forward a little bit. This is mostly so you can pull it free. Sometimes components don't come free, don't come cleanly off. And this results in some issues where, like as you see right now, the whole thing is being pulled. So let's disengage that. Something isn't properly coming loose, and right that happens, I burn this one off. And then I try again. And you see it kind of just wiggles itself free. It's little things like that. This is a physics-based game, and you know, sometimes the physics get wonky. Oh, I didn't realize that these were also attached. Normally I pull these as well, but I didn't this time because, like, there's no point. They're gonna stay over here, but it doesn't make sense, does it? I'm sorry. Whoops. Are you serious? You arced all the way over there? F you too. I'm not too worried about those arcs. I'll deal with them in a bit. Fire that off. So here's the last piece of skin. We'll just take it and clip it by the front. Now, at this point, your tether should be strong enough to pull something this size in. If not, I don't know what to tell you. Something you can do is, let's say the door that was blown off, you can take it and push it against this with your tether and it will slowly finagle this. But yeah, that's how you pull the skin off a gecko. All geckos have about the same layout for their outer hull. Outer hull. However, they're each tiny bit different on the inside. This one has a bisected inner hull with a gangplank between them. The Stargazer and the station hoppers have basically this whole thing is just a cube of rooms that you can cut up and cut apart, or if you get everything out of them, like I'll cut the bottom out of it, pull everything out, and I'll just chunk the whole intersection into the furnace because it's all basically metal. This one is, it's not a difficult thing. You've just got to make sure you're paying attention to what you're doing. Remember, the skin needs to come off. However, there are shorter times to do it. You can just isolate out a section of it, like one whole side, and just yank it over if you have strong enough tethers. That is a completely viable way to do things. And in doing so, by pulling that plus a few miscellaneous, I have rank 2 salvage, and I haven't even pulled the reactor yet. So yeah, and that took 30 minutes. If you do it the other way and you get enough practice in, it is feasible. You can pull about, you could probably pull it in 15 minutes, less maybe. But yeah, this has been Dying Demon, and thank you for accompanying me as I show you how to tear down how to pull off the skin on a gecko. If you'd like to see more videos, just let me know and I'll do them. Let me know which ones you want to see me do. I do hope they come with player-made ships soon, because if they do, I will play whatever y'all want me to play with that. But until next time, bye!